important to understand where I'm coming from when I ask this question with regard to judicial hardening. If someone's born in a corpse-like, totally depraved condition as described by most Calvinists, why is Jesus choosing to use parables is kind of the question. If the person's dead in the Calvinist sense of the word, then they couldn't believe so as to be saved anyway. And yet the scripture says that he uses parables lest they see, hear, understand, and turn so as to be healed. In other words, he's using parables to keep them from believing so as to be saved, at least for a time.
They were designed to hide the truth.
And there's another part of this clip, just for time's sake, I won't play it all, but he talks about how you must believe while you still can. That's a direct quote. I'm reading from my book, Drawn by Jesus, where I quoted in the book. You must believe while you still can. God will not contend with men forever. Eventually, he will give you over to your unbelief, blind you in your hardened unbelief, and now you can't believe anymore because of the fact that you've rejected him. Now, that doesn't make any sense for a Calvinist to say that in my mind, because they're born, according to the T of tulip, unable to believe. It takes a miracle. It takes regeneration to believe. And I play those clips side by side where MacArthur teaches total inability from birth without regeneration first, and then teaching what he just taught about parables and how believe while you can. You never could because you were born unable to believe. How do you reconcile that, John MacArthur? I've yet to hear a Calvinist give an explanation to that makes any rational sense whatsoever. How I ask, for example, why Satan needs to steal the seed if they're unable to believe in the seed by nature from birth. And he says, well, God uses means. And my response to him, which I could not get an answer for, was, but those means are unnecessary, right? In other words, if he didn't steal the seed, because of total depravity, they wouldn't be able to believe it anyway unless they were regenerated first. And if they were regenerated, obviously they would certainly believe it, right? And he just had to concede that point. It's a redundancy. It's like, yes, the means of total inability does cause them unable to believe, but also God doubly hardens them or doubly blinds them by also allowing Satan to steal the seed. Even though they're already dead, putting a blindfold over them doesn't really blind them, but it's kind of like a judgment for their already blindness. And so it's like they're doubly hardened, which again undermines everything Jesus said, because he says, otherwise they might see, hear, understand, and turn, and I would heal them. He tells us what they could have done had he not spoke to them in parables. So Jesus is either using some kind of real hyperbolic language, or he's deceiving them and lying, which none of us believe obviously is the case.
Well,
but why would Jesus say, otherwise they might see and I would heal them, if indeed they were born unable to see so as to be healed?